start tearing down this machine today. The very first thing we should be doing before we start anything is making sure the spark plug's disconnected from the lead on there. Pulled off the chain cover. There's the two bolts that unscrew left and right on this machine. The twin rails will have vertical posts instead of the horizontal bolts. Chain cover just lifts right off. Got it back here, just giving it a bit of a clean up on the inside. Apart from safety, the very first thing you want to be doing when you're tearing down one of these machines is to crack your nuts, loosen your nuts on these couple of sprockets on the chain side before you do anything else. Getting those bolts loosened can be a little bit tricky sometimes. If you've got the leverage of those chains and the engine itself, the reel, if it's blocked out, just makes it a lot easier. You can do it afterwards. You might have to anyway for the roller, but it just makes it a lot easier if you do it up front before you start fiddling with chain links and taking the motor off and all that sort of stuff. So to get started, I've got a block of wood, I've got a spanner. In this case I'm using a 19mm. You'll find a lot of the fasteners on these machines are all imperial based. My 19mm spanner fits on some of these quite snugly, so I'm going to go with it. And my block of wood, I'm going to throw that in the front of the reel to jam it up, give me some extra leverage to work against when I'm loosening off some of these bolts. We'll throw that in there. It will work its way around. It's actually sitting between the bottom blade on the reel itself and the sole plate, so it's really in there tight, it's not going to move. Spanner on, and you can see, there we go, that one's not on too tight, so we can loosen that off without everything moving around. The machine is still trying to transmit a little bit of power to the back roller, so things are squirming around, but when it comes time to get some of these bottom sprockets off, I'll show you a trick to immobilize that back roller so that everything's not trying to move forward on us. So that nut's pretty snug. I'm just going to keep going over here, get it off a little bit further just to make life a little bit easier in the future. So next we'll move on to the double bottom sprocket. Again, front end's blocked off. Get my spanner on there, that one's actually really loose already. These things are incredibly gummy with whatever lubricant the previous owner decided to pop on here. Everything feels pretty gooey. Nonetheless, that's coming off pretty easily. Alright, so I've done my first two nuts here. So the next thing that I'm going to do is start taking off some of these chains just to get them out of the way. So all these chains have a little half link, a broken link that you can pull apart. This one's actually got two by the looks of it. And so what we need is a little screwdriver in there just to pop those off. It will pull apart and we'll be able to take the chain off. I'll just wiggle these chains around just a touch so I can get better access to the links. Got one down here, got two up here, and there'll probably be another one at the back here, but we'll worry about it if we need to. We might not need to even break all the chains to get them off, we'll see. Alright, so I've got my little flat screwdriver for this job. This chain is just absolutely feral. Whatever they've put on here is just hardened up, it's stiff, it's nasty. There we go. That's the little half link that's coming out there. You can just see it. There's the two little posts of the link itself, and this is the little stuck to my hand, the little clip that holds it all together. That half, there it is. So that's the half that pops off. And what we're left with is the back half with the two posts on it. I'm not entirely convinced this is going to come apart as I would expect it to. pull that off. And out. These chains are different lengths, so it's worth noting what goes where. In theory, they're different lengths on this machine, who knows. So we'll move on to the next chain now. Its little link is here, it's going the other direction, so the U is going like so. And it'll work at wiggling it off in the same way we did the other one. So it's just a question of getting the flat blade of that screwdriver under the tip or the back side of that link and finagling it off of there. That's part of it. There we go, pops off, we'll drop it down there so we don't lose it. Get our... I'm just up in the cogs here, so it's a little bit trickier loosening that off. Just going to spin that around off the cogs a little bit. I'll pop the block of wood back in there. There we go, that's come off pretty easily in the end without the cog in the way. And again, that chain lifts off.